Ladies and gentlemen, this is Championship Wrestling.
Hey folks, it's Myron from the Tap Tap Wrestling Podcast. Tonight I am joined by MLW executive producer at the Empresaria, Salina de la Renta. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am great. You're extremely busy. Got a lot of stuff going on, right?
I do. I am super busy, but I mean, I love it. I'm not complaining.
I spoke with you, God knows how long it was at a little show in Atlanta. It was at a college, but when you were still injured. Okay. And you were so nice, and it was so cool to get to meet somebody. I always like getting out to meet talent.
In Atlanta, was that Wrestle America?
No. It was at a college downtown in Atlanta.
Oh,
you did, yeah. There was only a few people there.
Yeah, I mean that's why I thought it was that one. I mean, I travel a lot, so yeah. I've been to Atlanta multiple times, so it's kind of hard. Oh, maybe it was AWE.
No. You had a table next to Gymnasty, and it was on a college campus. They drew like maybe 20 people.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I named. Like I'm trying to remember what else I've done.
Well, I mean,
like that. I've been doing this for quite some time now, so I can't remember everything.
But I see you booked on cards all over the place, and on top of that, you're doing the work from MLW that has drawn so much great appreciation. Jim Cornette, Missy, Hyatt have both went on to praise how good you're doing. That's pretty impressive to me.
To me, that's an amazing feeling. I like getting recognized by people in general, but getting recognized by celebrities is a very different people. Not to say that celebrities are more important than people. I'm not getting into that. I'm just saying that it's a real high praise when somebody that's admired from so many years can sit down and say, "Hey, you're doing amazing." To me, that's a great feeling.
I can only imagine. Now, I read somewhere you had a college assignment to watch a reality TV show, and you watched Total Divas.
Yes.
And you said, "I can do that." Is that how this worked out?
That's exactly how it happened. I moved to Florida from Puerto Rico. I moved to Florida with my mom because I was going to pursue a degree in filmmaking. And people that live in Puerto Rico know that the education system over there is pretty bad. And I went to private school, and in private school, I would get what a person from public here in the United States, paying what you would pay for private school here in the United States. So for me to get any kind of education, my mom had to make a huge effort because it was only her. And, I was blessed with a very supportive mom that she was just like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's move so you can study and become a filmmaker, and I'll support your dreams because nobody did it for me." So I'm like, "Okay, great. You're the best mom ever. Let's do it."
Definitely.
Moved to Florida. I started going to Valencia Community College, and we barely had any money. My mom was surviving with us with maybe like $1,500 a month, and that was like car, food, apartment, everything. And if we barely had any money to eat. So it was like we really struggled out here because she had a good job there, but she had to quit to come here with some savings. So then, whatever. Long story short, I started going to college and I started pursuing my dream. They tell me that I have to study reality TV because I was writing a reality show pilot. So I called my dad and I said, "Hey, do you have any shows that you like?" He was like, "Yeah, Total Divas." And I'm like, that doesn't sound like a show you would watch. And he's like, "But you should watch it. I think it's funny." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So I watched it with my mom, and it was like a switch. The minute I saw women that looked like me, because I do feel like I look like a professional wrestler. When I saw that, I was like, why would these women that look like that pick professional wrestling over modeling or over acting? Like, it didn't make sense to me. So I wanted to know more. And I looked up schools. I found Pro Wrestling 2.0, which is where I'm on my way right there. I mean, right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I started chasing my dreams a week after I met professional wrestling, and I am where I'm at today. So.
Well, you have really got to a high point, because I've watched wrestling my entire life, and I just now started watching a lot of MLW. I'd watched some MLW. I started watching a lot of it because I'd grown dissatisfied with the regular product that's on TV, and MLW's on YouTube, so it's so easy to watch, you know? Yeah. And all of a sudden, you're out there just tearing it up as this incredible heel manager. You lead a faction. You've got this deep character development, and your psychology is terrific. Did the filmmaking school help with that?
Absolutely. I think that's actually what's helped the most. I come from a huge performing arts background, so I've been doing plays since I was a little girl. Like, I think performing arts is the only thing I read. Like, it was my life. I had no romantic life. I had no career because I was a kid. I was only allowed to go to church, really, because my mom was very strict, and some things I don't really have to do. But the only things that I did was prepare for what's coming after, and I think that 18 years of preparation had really paid off.
Yeah, I can tell, because you're so believable. You make the fans angry. You make people feel. You lead a faction of, I mean, L.A. Park. Good God, how amazing is that guy?
I myself have to sometimes step back and look at him and just admire him, because he is not young. Okay,
no,
and he can do more than I would say 40% of the roster up and coming young wrestlers. And it's impressive how it doesn't matter what he's been through. I know that he just had a match, and he sent me pictures of his leg, and his knee was swollen. And I was like, oh, no, Barca, what do you want to do? Please, that's disgusting. Let's really talk this through. Do you still want to come to MLW? And he's like, have I ever let you down? I'm still going to go. I'm just showing you how disgusting this is. I'm like, all right, thank you for the picture.
Oh, that's insane. That's insane. Because
he's crazy.
That guy, I mean, I was watching that guy. I'm nearly his age. I was watching him when I was in college, and it's that indelible image of him and the chair and the guitar bit he does with it that was so fantastic. Cool. Now, is MLW an environment that you can express your creativity in, that you've been able to just flourish in?
You mean do what I want?
Yeah.
Yes. Literally, yes. Thanks to Core Bauer, the best boss ever, and I'll never say this about anybody else. When I say it about Core, it's true. He is the best boss ever. He teaches people by giving you enough rope to hang yourself. So he'll say, hey, this is what it is. You have to either. Oh, I'm sorry, it's raining, so I don't know if you can hear me.
Be careful.
Okay, no, I'm good. I just wanted to make sure you could still hear me.
Yes.
But he is the type of person that tells me, hey, this is your job. I hired you for a reason. Now go do it. And he lets me explore and, get to the point and do whatever I need to get done so that I can do whatever he asked me to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because you can tell the difference between watching what y'all are doing on MLW, watching the kind of wrestling I grew up on, studio wrestling, the NWA, and then turning on to try to watch the WE product right now where it's so heavily scripted. Yeah, y'all invoke emotion.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the most about MLW that we get to explore with different kinds of people. It's not just American professional wrestling, which I honestly, when I look at other shows, that's what I see. I see American talent all over. They're making it. Congratulations. I like that MLW is giving the opportunity to people from different places. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter. If you are talented enough, you're going to get the opportunity. And I really, really love that about our product.
Oh, it's a very diverse product. You get not only you get different kinds of wrestling, you get different kinds of people, and it's something fun to tune into.
I agree. I think it's great for the entire audience. Everybody can enjoy it. Kids, adults, white, Hispanic, gays, and celibates. Everybody.
Yeah, and I'm a huge Cornette fan. I listen to his show, and he talks about how people watching the shows the when y'all were in Chicago recently, that there was a guy that just wanted to climb over the ring to get to the wrestlers, and it's like nobody has done that in 30 years. That they haven't been able to evoke that much emotion in somebody.
Absolutely, and Contra Unit has also done a really good job at getting the crowd to interact with them. I remember when Joseph Samael, he started throwing bottles at the crowd, and I'm a big fan of making everybody livid. In Mexico, I was able to get people to throw food at me, and yeah, I mean that was the best feeling. Yes, they messed up my expensive pink suit, but I learned a lesson. Never wear another color that's not black to Mexico. And well, yeah, so back to Contra Unit. They literally, when I was looking at them do that, I just had a feeling like, man, everybody here knows what they're doing. It's not just, sometimes it's like, I feel like I'm good here and I can bring a lot to MLW, but it's not just me. Everybody's sharp. Everybody's on point. So it's really, really fun to work with everybody there.
Well, it's the feeling I get that I'm watching the wrestling I grew up watching. I grew up in Birmingham. I was watching Ron Fuller shows, and they really made you think that the heels were these evil guys, and the babies had to come on top. I feel that when I watch MLW, I feel like not that I hate you, but I can see how I could grow to hate your character.
I mean, I'm no saint, so if you do, it's okay. I understand. I can do some really messed up stuff sometimes.
But you're trying to make me hate you. You're trying to be that person.
To be honest, it's not that hard for me. I walk into a room and people look at me and they're like, yeah, I hate her.
Oh, well, got to play to your strengths then.
Hey, it's a look thing, I guess.
So, I mean, I remember a few years back, well, not even a few years back, seeing you on cards and stuff from independent wrestling shows. How did you get in with MLW? How did that work out for you?
So one of my trainers was Mr. Saint Laurent, who is the vice president of MLW right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky enough that I went to wrestle. I mean, I started wrestling for a company that had him. That's just that one thing was pretty much right place, right time. But that's not the only thing, because if I didn't have the potential and if I didn't really work as hard as I did, then maybe I would have never gotten it. If there was another person there, then maybe they would have had the opportunity. But if you don't develop as well, then they can't build you. You have to bring a lot to the table for them to, really put you in the spotlight. Hey, you're worth investing in.
Yeah, and wrestling right now is full of beautiful women your age, but you're excelling past them.
Yeah, thank you.
You're in the forefront. That's amazing.
So yes, well, thank you for that. And I was always that one kid that would show up and say, how can I help? What can I do? What am I missing to be better? Like, why would you say my match is a 7? Why would you say it's a 6? And I would really want to know, because I wanted to get better. And when I suffered my injury, I started wrestling, and then my leg snapped 5 different times. And I had to get ACL surgery, meniscus surgery, and I was out for nearly, I would say, a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still out. Like, I'll be back by the end of August. But when I say I'll be back, it means I can train again. It doesn't mean that I'm going to have a debut.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, I can't remember half the things that I used to do. But I'm pretty sure that's just going to come back to me. But when my leg snapped, Mr. Saint Laurent asked me, do you have any other talent? Is there anything else that you can do? because we're about to open MLW and we wanted to use you. Do you think that you could be a host? And I said, man, I'll do whatever. I'll hand out tickets if that's necessary. And they're like, no, I think we have a bigger purpose for you, but we just want to know what your abilities are. I said, well, I can act. I can sing. I could sing at the time. I kind of lost my voice. I can dance. And I started saying, like, making a list of different things that I could do. I can speak Spanish, Portuguese. I'll translate contracts. I'll do whatever. And he's like, I think you need to meet Cor. Let's talk to Cor Bauer. And I sat down with him. I told him who I was, showed him everything that I had, and said, man, I'm here. I'm here to prove myself. I can do this job. Whatever it is that you give me, I'm going to do, and I'm going to be the best you've ever had. I promise that. And Corey took a chance, and he said, well, let's start by switching things up a bit. No more of the funny gimmick that I was doing, calling myself the booty monster. He said, no more of that. He said, let's get more serious. Let's try to do this different character. Let's see how you would work as an Empresaria. And they, I was brought in with 3 different suits, and I barely had any money to afford these, but I paid for them anyway because I believed in myself. And when they saw me, they're like, I think we're going to go in a different direction. And I was like, oh no, I spent all this money. And then they come back saying, yeah, we're actually going to give you the real job. And it's like, what do you mean, the real job? It's like, yeah, it's not a gimmick. Congratulations, you've been promoted. It's like, what? Like, yeah, you're gonna be in charge of the Latin talent in MLW, and you're gonna start working with Pentagon and Ray Phoenix, and these are gonna be your first clients, and we'll go from there. And I lost it. I started crying. I couldn't believe it. And then, well, 2 years later, now I didn't just manage them. I had Garza, I had Ultimo Ninja, I had Low Key, LA Park and his son. I have Bestia 666 now. I have, I got the opportunity to have Ricky Martinez, who he wasn't that known when we started, but over the time he's been a great Sicario. And I've had the most fun. I've honestly haven't had the most fun, the best job, the best thing that's ever happened has been my injury, in my opinion.
Well, because I remember a couple of years, not even a while back, you were booked on an all-women show here in Georgia that we were helping the promoter out with, and you got hurt and couldn't make it. And I was like, oh man, I really wanted to see her. It was you and Aria. We're going to come up here and work. And
yeah.
But the thing was, you've developed so much more than that because of the injury.
Yes.
That was almost, I mean, I hate to say it was a blessing, but it's a blessing because you've got to work with so much great talent. You've got to develop characters so much. And MLW is almost like a breeding ground for people to come in and have their characters developed. Look at MJF, for example. That guy is an amazing heel. And he's been allowed to develop into amazing heel.
Yeah, and that just goes with what I was saying, that Cor Bauer gives you the opportunity to, really do what you know how to do. They hired you for a reason, and some other companies just hire you and try to make you something else that you're not. And people are good at what they're good at, and if you let them explore and show you what they got, you might actually find something wonderful.
I can definitely see that, because it's almost like working in corporate America versus working in like a theater company where you can develop and act and do your work. And it's refreshing to see that. It's a very good program. The producers, the talent, they brought in amazing announcers. It's a really good thing they got. And it's, with it being on YouTube and being so easily accessible, I just think it's a wonderful product.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't have the BN Sports Network on my cable package, but I can always get it on YouTube, and I can just let it play while I'm doing something, or I can watch it when I'm relaxing. I watch it on my phone.
The cool part about that is that you never miss on any storyline. So no. If you didn't get to catch it on TV, you don't have to record it. You can just wait a few days. It's not even that long. It's 2 days, and then it's uploaded. And you get to actually watch it live, where a bunch of it's not live, it's just a live chat. So as it's streaming for the first time, fans get to actually interact within each other and talk about the show as it's going. So to me, it's fun to watch it that way, because I not only get the commentary from Jim Cornette and Rich Bocchini, which I'm not really a fan of, but since he is in the commentary, I'll mention him. But you don't only get them; you also get the crowd. You get the real people telling you what they really think about the show. And when it's me running the show, I personally love getting praised over and over and over and over. So I mean, I'm about that.
Well, now you are the first Latina to be executive producer on a wrestling show in the world. I've never seen that before, right?
Yes, that's correct. I'm the first ever. So I'm actually the first ever Latina to do Spanish commentary as well. So I'm here to make history.
Well, you're breaking down a lot of walls, and you're getting out there. And on top of that, I mean, you're giving us good quality wrestling. And as wrestling fans, that's all we could. I mean, that's the best thing we could get. It's happiness for us, us old people who watch wrestling as a kid. You're out there and you're doing good things. Now, you had a friend that had a GoFundMe, right?
Yes.
Is that on your Twitter where people can find it?
It's still on my Twitter. It's still on my Instagram, and it's still on my Facebook. Her name is Janet Lugo, and she is the niece of one of my friends. She got into this really bad car accident. She's only 20. I think she's only 20, and she got into this terrible car accident, lost like all of her facial features. She didn't have a leg anymore. She broke both of her hips, and the worst part is that the accident wasn't even her fault. Like, she was just driving regular, and this guy just tried to cut in front of her, make a U-turn, and he thought that he was going to be fast enough, and he was going to be able to cut her, but he didn't. He didn't make it, and the car was destroyed, and she's been on a bed since. Like, it's almost been like a month, I would say, and it's really, really sad. So if anybody wants to donate anything, $5, $1, $10, everything counts. It really, really does. I was doing a raffle, but I already gave the present to one of the donators. But if people keep donating and they still message me, then I'll probably do a second one, because I just want to help her. Definitely.
And the show you're working on July 20th for IWE in Augusta, they're giving 25% of their ticket sales to Ashley Vassaro's daughter. I thought that was pretty awesome.
That's really awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you're on that show, and IWE. I've had the owner on my show before, or seemed like a real nice guy. There's just a talent stack show.
Yeah, I know I'm on the show. I just didn't know that they were going to give us 25%.
Yeah, I just saw that today. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Pro Wrestling 2.0 today. That's going to be cool. That's going to be on Jarrett Parsons Wrestling TV eventually, and we have a channel on there too. And
yep. And we started to some really, really fun stuff. So
yeah, and that's where you trained at, right?
Yes, that's where I started.
So where can people buy your merchandise?
Well, all of my merchandise you can buy through DM. Most of the things are advertised on my page over and over, but if you can't seem to find it, that's okay. Just send me a message and I'll send you what I have available.
So find you on Facebook and Twitter?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they're all the same. Salina De La Renta. You spell Salina Salina. De La Renta is like Oscar De La Renta, but if you don't know, DeLarenta.
Cool. So definitely look forward to seeing you some shows. Really impressed what you're doing, and I can't wait to watch more MLW. Thanks for coming on. Best of luck tonight. You got anything you need to add before you go?
No. Before buying my merch, do please try and donate to this girl. That matters a lot more. It's somebody's life. I don't need money that bad.
Cool. Thank you, Salina. Thank you. Like I said, I'm so impressed with your work. Thank you for coming on, and you have a wonderful night.
All right. Thank you for your time. I had fun.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.